This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode number 56. Wade Hampton joins us this evening. First, before we get into anything sports-related, we did want to send out our condolences to Paul and Monica on the loss of Franzen. Their dog had Franzen a very long time, and just as important as any other family member. So we want to make sure that we send out our best wishes to both of them, and hoping they're doing the best they can be under the circumstances.
Absolutely.
The bourbon of choice this evening for the DocNoyes Old Fashioned of the Week, very old Barton. It is not an expensive bourbon. I think it runs in the neighborhood of $20 to $25. But still very good. It is very smooth. It's not a heavy burn. It is a very nice bourbon. If you need one for mixing, things like that, or I did try it straight, pretty decent too, pick it up.
Yep.
As a reminder, none of these bourbons or companies or anything are sponsors of the show. I'm throwing out different ones because I have a big-ass liquor cabinet and want to give people other names if they drink bourbon to go out there and try that. Justin also was unable to join us this evening. He has got a busy packed next couple of weeks, did reach out, but he plans to be back once he gets through his couple weeks of busy time. We all go through it. I was scrambling. I've been scrambling for the last 2 weeks on things, and pretty crazy. You as well. So
yeah, we both discussed trying to last minute bring somebody on, but we were afraid we would insult them by calling somebody last minute and being like, "Hey, we're in need of a guest." So
we'll get back to it. We do have one a person lined up. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said we're just a twosome tonight.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. We do have a guest coming on next week. We had hoped to get him tonight, but scheduling just didn't line up. Who camped out for the Detroit Red Wings sale. So we will touch on that, plus hopefully get Paul's thoughts as well next week. Around the hobby, this one slightly outside the hobby, but who owns it, of course. My Gray, the 1932 Babe Ruth jersey, has 2 days to go. The called shot 1932 Babe Ruth jersey, photo matched, all this stuff with 2 days to go. And this is out on Heritage's auction site, which one thing I really love about their site is it tells you right where the current bid is, what the total is with the buyer's premium.
Yeah.
If it was to close right this second, and like I said, it has 2 days to go, with the buyer's premium would be $18.12 million.
I think they projected it closer to 30, so I think it's still got a ways to go. If it hits the projection. But still, nonetheless, $18 million, especially considering that jersey sold a number of years ago through Gray Flannel for considerably less money.
And is that a combination of the market was soft at the time, or it hadn't been was back when Gray Flannel?
It wasn't matched. And I think it was just a different era in the hobby, especially with some of that kind of stuff. And obviously, everything has kind of gone up exponentially, especially I think people are starting to see some of that really, really high-end stuff as investment pieces, like gold and silver and other things.
Sure.
So you'll actually see people trading real high-end stuff as like a commodity almost.
No, that makes sense. And we've touched on a few of these auctions before. There's a few new ones I'll get to as well, also out on Heritage. 73, 74, Tony Esposito, game-worn Blackhawks jersey with the hammer fee and 2 days to go, currently at $6,000. Beautiful jersey. We will mention the Blackhawks here in a bit on something else, so we'll get to that. 2013-14 Yammer Yager jersey with 3 days to go. With the hammer fee on it is currently at $24,000. Photo match to 13 games, has 5 goals and 4 assists under it. In this jersey, also passes Mario Lemieux for the career goal 691. They have it from when this was originally listed. They have additional photo matches and other milestones listed in there. Their breakdown on when it was worn and all that is fantastic. Their documentation on this is really good. The guide value estimate was at 25,000, and you're right in the ballpark. So we'll
Pretty
see.
amazing jersey.
Yeah, and I mean, Yager still plays, for crying out loud. I wish I had that level of ability at his age when I get there.
Doc, you're gonna get there. I got faith in you.
Yeah, I might be playing hockey in a wheelchair by that point. We'll see. The 2021 Tampa Bay Lightning Mini Stanley Cup Trophy. It is currently with the hammer fee at $2,520. It is one of doesn't say exactly where it came. Somebody from the team had it, but not many other details there. 22-23 Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup Champions ring, the one that from Director Securities, currently with its 3 days to go. Hammer fee is $55.20. Definitely, if you collect Stanley Cup rings or a Golden Knights fan, it's definitely a pretty jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. The 1980 Eruzione practice jersey or pre-Olympic jersey is currently at $27.60 with 3 days to go. The 91-92 Scott Stevens is at $28.80 with 3 days to go. Has the 75th anniversary patch, the green along the outline of the neck and the shoulders there. Coming up, these open. They have these for auction preview, and I'm not sure the exact date these open. Also on Heritage site, but they're coming soon. 2018 Washington Capitals Stanley Cup ring. It's a staff ring. Has the original box. The estimate on it is $3,000. I know staff rings and that aren't as important. So those are a couple other things to watch for out there. There was a couple other trophies, but they weren't a huge deal, so I didn't mention them. Out on My their auction site, the only thing they have going right now, besides pucks, are a handful of 17-18 Flyers nameplates. That auction ends on September the 5th. That, and then also the Montreal Canadiens have game-worn jerseys, 23-24 game-worn jerseys up for auction, and they end in 22 hours, 56 minutes. So by the time you're listening to the podcast, you listen to it Friday morning, then you've still got time to bid. You listen to it after Friday night, sorry, you missed out. The site layout is very good. I haven't looked yet to see how good their pictures are. I am pulling up Nick Suzuki's right now. You can look at the front and the back, and this is on Tricor Sports. If you search for Tricor Sports or Montreal Canadiens game-worn jerseys, should take you there. They have them pictures of both the front and the back. The problem is, like, if you click on the pictures and things, it doesn't make them bigger.
No, yeah.
But I just tested a quick trick because the Blues seem to do this somewhat similar, is if you right-click on the picture, do open image in new tab, you'll see it. And then when you hold over it, and I'm using Firefox for it, you'll see a magnifying glass with a plus. Click on that, and it blows it up very well.
Nice.
So I'm trying to just look at the Nick Suzuki one. And again, I don't know anything about Canadiens jerseys as far as like what their wear things are like. The Suzuki one to me looks very clean. Let me see if I can find a goalie here. And what's really nice too is down the left side of their page, if you've not been there, is they have all of them listed, and then they're also filtered by position. Forwards, defenseman, goalie. They also have it filtered game worn, game issued, and home or away. That I really like. So let me
do a good job there.
Oh yeah,
Prices,
beautiful page.
Yeah, prices are always the one. They are in Canadian dollar, so that's always nice.
So looking at the, I pulled the Jake Allen up here. It's a white one because I was looking for puck marks, but again, I don't know, knowing nothing about how they do these, when they take their pictures, things like that. I see a few light puck marks on this one, just to kind of see. But once you zoom in on them, this is the description's 23-24. Jake Allen game used jersey. Description 58G away jersey used by Jake Allen during the 23-24 regular season. Jersey comes with a letter of authenticity. It does not give, and I don't know how many sets Montreal wears. Your Montreal collectors probably know that more. I do see there's a code on the jersey itself. So I'm assuming that stuff can be looked up. I don't know enough about that area, but the site itself looks pretty user friendly. They do also have the extended bidding.
Yep.
1 minute increments past the scheduled closing time on high interest item. So it does explain how all that works. It says the item closing time will continue to extend in 1 minute increments as long as there is a continued bidding or until we reach 30 minutes, which is the last possible bid time. So that is interesting that it can't go all night. 30 minutes is the max, but it will at least continue. So
it means you have to be Johnny on the spot. You actually have to means you actually have to participate. You know, you're going to have to stay fresh on it and stay on it. You got 30 minutes to do your darndest.
Yes, spend the money you can. Before we get any farther in there, don't want to neglect to mention Mitch and the drink your face offline of fine products. Yeah, Wade wearing the shirt. I'm holding up the puck bottle opener, and trust me, that comes in handy at my house all the time. I do have a lovely shirt of Mitch's. I'm just usually in my loud, obnoxious line of shirts that I wear. That company I definitely wish was a sponsor, but maybe down the road. I do know this company is working on a line of cool hockey shirts, company called Roosevelt's, RSVLTS.com. They, a few of the founders are big hockey people, so they have promised me in somewhat short order there should be some hockey ones. Once I do that, I may actually have one of the guys from the shirt company on to try and do something with it. I had got to meet one of them at the beginning of baseball season. It was in St. Louis and pushed for that, and they said it's coming. And I wear these shirts every day. They're phenomenal and loud, obnoxious all at the same time. For anybody that's met me at an expo or watched any of these videos, I'm usually in one. Auction wise, that's pretty much it. Wade, we've got a couple other things we'll touch on here in a minute, but wanted to, as we're just under 2 months away till your expo.
Yeah, coming up quick, and it's kind of hit me in the face the other day that it's coming pretty quick. Excited to have it again. Excited for everybody coming in town. We have some great guests as far as some of the premier auction houses. Classic's going to be there. As of I've got Heritage coming. Rinkside Reserve is going to be there from the Blues on Sunday this year, doing the same kind of thing they did last year. And again, some fantastic vendor / collector / hobbyists who are going to be not only displaying but selling and trading and a lot of commerce in the room. I know Milt's coming, which is a huge ad because he's such a big personality in our hobby. There's a lot of really good collectors and a lot of really good people. We always talk about the camaraderie of the expos. And I think it's a huge part of it. A lot of us talk about it. I know that if you're really going to be in the hobby, you have to be in the hobby. It's really hard to just sit at home and look at the few jerseys you have. It really does do wonders for your knowledge and experience just to touch base with a ton of different people and enjoy it. So very excited. Can't wait to see you, and hopefully we'll tape a podcast or two like we normally do.
We'll have the kit down there, and maybe even get people together, do a Friday night one too. Maybe get it thrown out, but for Saturday morning, do want to touch on a couple other expos. And again, thanks to Paul for keeping this list up to date. Got one in 2 days. It's the PEG Expo, as some people were referring it to, this Saturday, 8 to 4, the Winnipeg Jersey Collectors Meeting. It's kind of a smaller affair, but that is up in Headingley, Manitoba, if I'm reading that correctly. Then September 28th, you've got the South Jersey Game Worn Expo in New Jersey. That's always a well-attended one there on the East Coast. October 6th, the Minnesota Game Worn Collectors Expo in St. Paul. And then, of course, yours, October 19th and 20th in St. Louis. A couple other dates, November the 8th and 9th, the Rocky Mountain Expo in Denver. November the 9th, the Detroit Game Worn Expo at the Marriott Detroit Metro Airport. And then the San Jose in January 25th, San Jose Game Worn Expo. And then back to St. Louis again, a special edition, April the 12th, 2025, for the Frozen Four will be in St. Louis that time at the Enterprise Center. So 1 day expo and then going to see the Frozen Four. Hopefully there's good teams in there. I know Paul's already pulling for Michigan to be there. So we'll
absolutely.
See how it goes.
So it's fun time of the hobby. I think all of us are starting to gear up for the season. I mean, it's going to be, we were talking before, we always talk before we come on. And one of the big things I kind of geek out on is new player numbers, specifically for my team, but really for any team. I'm always very excited to see when a guy goes to a new team, what jersey number he chooses. Also, it's the great time of year when camp starts to see if maybe an up-and-coming, young, talented guy switches into a different jersey number. That's stuff that, as a collector and a hobbyist, I love that part of our hobby. So I get really excited to try to figure out what I think a guy is going to go into, or what's available on a team in comparison to what somebody's worn in the past. So
and
very excited.
I know as some collectors, it gets frustrating if you're collecting a player and then they switch numbers for some reason.
Yeah.
Some people like it though, because then you get a mix of numbers, but I know it frustrates fans and collectors sometimes when they switch. But yeah, I think there'll be a lot of that. We are 43 days until the puck drop. God, that will come quick, especially with camps and stuff just around the corner.
It's all going to happen really quick. And that's, for us, I think on this show, we're always talking about like, how we're going to keep it going in the off season. But the funny part is the off season doesn't really last that long. And then, by October, we're going to be doing these, talking about everything that's happening with the camps starting, especially when we start seeing the new practice jerseys. I had a friend of mine who mentioned that to me the other day. He said, I'm really, really interested to see what the practice jersey's like. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to see one with an actual, like, a fixed crest again, rather than just the screen printed stuff that Adidas has done for the last number of years.
Yeah, and the property of whatever team. And I've always liked that look. I just think it's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, I mean, that's something to watch out for. Something I had a funny experience this week that I shared with you, and it's a team that you and I both try and pick up some things from, because it's our minor league affiliate, is the Springfield Thunderbirds out in Springfield, Massachusetts. They have up on their website a bunch of nameplates from specialty nights, regular season, all those different stuff. So you can go, if there's a player you like that's in the minors or one of the guys that gets called up and down. A lot of people like to collect nameplates. I enjoy it when I can pick them up. If there's guys that I have jerseys of, things like that. But I was hunting around out there and was even happy to pick up a couple for Paul, for a player that he likes. It's in the system. But I found and talked to the team afterwards of kind of getting the backstory of this. But they, for whatever they're doing nameplates for, they label everything. And I don't think I've seen it. And if you collect either NHL nameplates or minor league ones out there, feel free to reach out to one of us and let us know. But the equipment guy that does it for the Thunderbirds labels everything. I'll mention some of the ones and then tell you the one I bought, just because I found it hilarious. Assistant coaches, head coach. Okay, totally get. Some of them I've seen have the actual name. It says assistant coach with the coach's name. Command center. Think that, again, makes sense. Gym. All right. Spare sticks. Yep. Wet room, okay. I don't know exactly the terms for the NHL, if that's just a shower area, what that exactly is. Janitorial storage, fine. Medical storage, sewing room and laundry room, change room, and the one that I purchased because I just thought it was funny was like, really? Couldn't have named it a little bit different. I bought mint gum. And I emailed the guy that runs the Springfield Thunderbird shop, great guy. And I'm like, what's the story with this? He's like, hey, he labels everything. And there's actually on the wall, there's a huge box of mint gum that is there all the time. So he puts a nameplate over the top of it. I'm like, you couldn't have just put gum? But I've shared it around as other collectors. Everybody's thought it's kind of funny, just as a neat little thing. And I'm curious if any other teams go to that extreme. The Command Center one was kind of cool. I picked one of those up too from one of the many. One of them I got was a Simpsons theme one, again, living in this Springfield. So kind of just a fun thing. So if you've collected any oddball nameplates like that, or if other teams do those, let us know. I'd love to hear it. Just as kind of a fun, different things. Nameplates are one of those things that can get expensive because some of them have been really pricey, but you can also go like Wade, just like you and I did, go the equipment sales, and they can be $1, $5, and you can pick up some really good players.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Springfield does it neat. They're always really cool. The one thing I really like about the Springfield ones is I think the majority of them are signed, or all of them are signed that can be signed. So not only are you getting the nameplate, but you're also getting an autograph of your favorite player or the player on the nameplate. So I like that too. That's a lot of fun. I get a kick out of that as well. So it's, there's a butt for every seat in our hobby. There's a guy who wants a mint gum one, and there's a guy who wants the command center, and then there's one who wants the player one. So I applaud Springfield for keeping it fun.
Eventually, I'm going to order a janitorial storage one and put it on my office door at work. See what
that'd be great. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yes, one thing that I missed and Paul sent me earlier this week that I want to mention, interesting coverage, especially if you subscribe to The Athletic. I know The Athletic has some of the best NHL coverage around. I follow them with the stuff with St. Louis because Jeremy Rutherford. Yeah. So they've got a few source writers. I was trying to remember which one for sure. Jeremy Rutherford does have excellent coverage, but now they have we'll start doing sports memorabilia and collectibles coverage. So basically touching the collectible sports hobby, be it basketball, baseball, hockey, all that kind of thing. They mentioned the National Sports Collectors Convention. They just kind of a quick, hey, here's who's covering it. Here's what we're going to do. So if you have the Athletic app and have not seen it or are looking to subscribe, again, no sponsor, just a great place for coverage. They do have a collectible section. They even have a collector's survey you can go take. If you cannot find it for some reason, shoot me a message. I can shoot you the link to it. But I thought that was interesting. Their first article is titled "The Strangely Convoluted Rise of Rookie Cards." I have not had a chance to read that because I've been stupid busy, but I'm hoping their coverage is good. I may actually reach out to them and say, hey, what do you know about the NHL hobby? And see if they'll either maybe pick up some of the collectors, talk to some of them, or kind of see if they're interested in the hockey hobby, or if it's going to be more of, will be the redheaded stepchild or something off to the side there. Those are the kind of the biggest things. The other one I want to get into, and I will hold this up here just a second, share the screen for anybody who hadn't seen it. It's Aesthetics, and we've talked to them several times. I say that's a person or a group that I hope to have on the show down the road. I know they don't exclusively do game worn, but their coverage has helped us a ton. So let me share my screen here real quick. And the Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey, they're playing the Blues, has leaked.
Yeah.
I think even as a Blues fan, I think it's really sharp.
Yeah, it's a beautiful jersey.
Has the white and black stripes across the middle, has the old school Blackhawks logo with the stars. Both arms have the cross tomahawks with the C. The interesting thing is too is on the inside of the hem, and you can see it in the picture, is two things. And I actually just caught one of them looking at it now, as I think about it, is under the when Adidas switched to the prime green, remember the little not sticker,
tip
but
tag, little
yes,
tip tag.
this has it too. And
Yeah.
looking at the inside, it's the star, which is part of the Chicago logo,
Yeah.
on the inside of the tag. Don't know
Yeah.
what the outside looks like because there's not a back shot. And then the inside of the hem at the bottom also says NHL Winter Classic. If you're on video, and hopefully you're seeing it okay.
You have to pay extra for the back shot usually, Doc.
Yes,
From my experience.
yes, you sure do. And then on the inside of the neck, it does say Chicago Blackhawks. So with a shoulder patch on the corner, you're terrible.
Sorry.
And again, they have an up close shot of the arm. The way that stitched,
the stain stitching is pretty awesome on that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation on what the Blues was going to look like in conjunction with it. In seeing this, if this is evidence of the quality of stuff we're going to see from Fanatics, you got to be excited.
Yep.
If they went deep enough to do change stitching on something, they're really putting some effort forward. There was a lot of speculation the Blues were going to do something, maybe in that golden era of the Blues Blackhawks, rivalry time, the late 80s, early 90s thing. But if this is any determination, I think we're going to see something totally unique from the Blues, which would be really cool.
I'm hopeful.
We haven't seen that. Yeah, we haven't, because realistically, the first Winter Classic turned into the Heritage jersey, and then the second Winter Classic is the same offset with a cream. A lot of these other teams have had some pretty one-off style things. So we'll be cool to see if we get a one-off style, something a little different. Ultimately it seems like the NHL for the Winter Classic jerseys tries to do something kind of unique and kind of retro or kind of, more traditional. Whereas it seems like with the Stadium Series games, they try to do something a little bit more edgy and a little bit more modern. So I'm excited to see if that's what it actually looks like, and then to see the counterpart of the Blues.
We can hope. There was one that was supposedly leaked, but that was shot down pretty quick. It's not that far away, and you need to start marketing these things. And like we said earlier, too, is you're going to be able to here soon should be able to get into your team stores and at least see the Pro Authentics and some of those, at least get your hands on it, see what those feel like. I'll be curious to see if the shop is carrying a lot of the Pro Authentics since they're $400 plus jerseys.
Yeah. It's going to be a really interesting year. I know, and we talked before we came on the air, there was a conversation about, what the quality versus game use collectors. And, at the end of the day, the one thing I came up with as an argument against it is when you start thinking about, what ends up being valuable. I mean, obviously the quality of the jersey and the material is going to matter as far as how they hold up to game wear. But if they are cheaply made or the quality sucks, you can harken back to when the NHL kind of cheaped out on certain teams and went with the heat press stuff.
Yep.
And those sell at a discounted value compared to other relevant similar era stuff that is stitched together. So I do find personally, my opinion is that the quality of the jerseys do end up playing a part in the value of the jerseys long term. Like those 85 to 87 Blues jerseys sell for a minimal amount compared to their counterparts of just the season before with the Rawlings ones that are all stitched on, even though those are 1 year jerseys. The next year is a 2 year, but because of the quality issues and the condition issues that they have 30 plus years later, those jerseys should sell for 2 or 3 times what they do, but they just don't bring it because nobody wants to have those jerseys falling apart in their collections.
Right. And it gets into several questions with that. And I definitely want to revisit it down the road too, where we can
Yeah, with other people.
do a panel discussion or something on this, because we've seen it with the Nordiques. We've seen it, and in some cases, people restoring them. So I
Yeah.
want to get into that discussion a little bit, because these are historic pieces. People
Yeah.
did important things in them, in be it with the Blues, be it with the Nordiques, or wherever else that did this style, or
Yeah.
the use that material, and you risk eventually with, I mean, them completely all the stuff falling off of them.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that recently popped up that would have been substantially higher trade pieces and sale pieces that just were, condition wise struggling. And I think that, if that same player was available in the stitched on version, the era before or the era after, that the jersey's worth considerably more money.
Yeah. And uh, it's one of the questions too of what do you do? Do you try and not touch it? Do you let it sit, or do you even see it with works of art and other things? Do you restore it, or do you do things to stop further degradation? And that's that'll be a huge topic for a show down the road. I mean, God, we could discuss that for an hour.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
we've seen it done, and we've seen some of the really big name Nordiques ones popped up, and what people have done to
To save
stop
them.
it or leave it. And we've seen the debate on the our different pages is what should
Yeah,
I do? And but you know what? It's a healthy, reasonable debate, because
absolutely.
things sewn on, yes, some of the stuff can fade or whatever, but we've even seen that with slightly more modern Blues jerseys, the other ones in the 90s where it had the vinyl around the Blues logo and stuff, and then people forget, and either it just dries out, or oops, they threw it in the washer, and then half that's gone.
Oh, yeah. And,
And
and, and that does affect the value of those. I mean,
yep,
secondarily, I mean, for the Blues, that goes all the way until the clown style with, the heat press stuff. And at the end of the day, when those things start falling apart, secondarily or on the trade or sale market, it hurts them because they're just not, the quality is damaged. So we'd love to get a panel after episode 56. Maybe
yeah,
we do a roundtable on it.
yeah,
So
we'll pull some extra people together and find some people that are owners of this thing, or if you've done restoration work, if you own some of these and have either done something or have been afraid to do something, maybe we'll try and get a bunch of us together on and kind of discuss the future of this, because you may get to a point where you may end up owning a jersey that only has a front logo, and everything else is pretty much, you can see the letters are faded, but that's it.
yeah, yep,
And what do you think about that, and how you deal with it? Um,
absolutely.
these and you can laugh because, say, some of the no name guys, they're not historical artifacts or whatever, but they are part of NHL history. Be it a
Absolutely.
guy that showed up for 3 games, or a guy that set records in scoring or whatever, and that jersey may need to be conserved, not just hang on a hanger.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else that is off the top of your head?
No, I mean, I think excited to see what auctions pop up. I'm excited to see people at these expos and see what pops up at the expos coming up around the country. Um, just having fun in the off season, fun break from everything. But it's been good to see that the commerce has continued on a lot of the game worn pages. People are still hunting and having fun with it, with the hobby, and that's great. So, not a whole lot for me tonight, Doc. I was just happy to get on here with you and do a quick one to keep the show alive and well.
Oh yeah,
I think all of us continue to get a lot of feedback from people about how much they enjoyed or the things they like or dislike. And I think the one thing I want to make sure everybody knows is that we're always trying to improve. So never feel like I take the negative comments or the, hey, why don't you do this? I like those just as much as anybody who says, oh, I listen to the show and I think it's great.
Yeah. Hey, cover this, or hey, maybe do this instead, or whatever. We're not perfect. Like I said, I've done radio for 8+ years total and all that, but podcasting is a different thing, and you want to, whatever you want to see, put it out there. I also do want to thank the guys that are on the main Game Worn page doing the daily countdowns. It's really cool to see when we get to different numbers, who's posting what, and what jerseys are out there in that particular number. It may be somebody you've heard of, it may be somebody you've never heard of, but it's cool to show as we get down through the season starting what's out there in jersey numbers, and a cool piece you may not otherwise see. So keep those things up. That's a lot of fun. Again, give us likes and follows wherever you listen to this on. We've continued to see that go up on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. So we appreciate all that support. Like, subscribe, so you know when these stuff come out. Like I've said in past shows, a lot of people we get, hey, let's do it driving into work and stuff. So we try and keep that so those timings hit. We don't always get that way due to scheduling, but we'll try and stay on that the best we can to give people the best podcast experience. I think we've covered a lot already, and hopefully we'll be back next week with the gentleman coming on talk about the Red Wing sale. Hopefully Paul will be back as well, and maybe see if we maybe pull some other people in there. But Wade, I hope you have a fantastic evening and weekend, and we'll see you back next week for the show.
Thanks, Doc. You're the best, man.